Hey, Pete here for Studio Live today, and where I left you last episode was that I was setting up all of this gear to record my song. I was recording guitars and some vocals. That is all now done. I am 80% happy with it, but we're going to have to go with it because we have 3 hours left before my deadline of midnight tonight. So I have to jump over there and mix this track so that I can get it done before the end of the day and the end of 7 days. I think I can do it. Hang in there and find out if I can. But first, I've got to clean up this mess. Let's go. Okay, so we are sorted now. Some people might say, why would you spend your first 15 minutes tidying up? Well, I go with the philosophy that if I've got a clean workspace, I can have a clean mind. And I need a clean mind because I've got now 2 and a bit hours to mix and complete this song. Hopefully I can do it in about half an hour. What I'm going to do is go over there and I'm going to capture my process of my final mix of this song here in Garageband on my iPad. So let's jump over and get started. Okay, so here is the spot that I will be sitting for the next, however long it takes me to mix this, the next up to 2.5 hours. And if you're interested in how I actually record, well, I'm going to use my camera for this one, and I have Reaper running on my PC over there, and that's recording this voice right now through that Samson microphone right there. And there's also a line out going from my Steinberg UR12 into my Steinberg UR44 that's recording the stereo track output. So I'm not trusting screen recorder this time. It hasn't done me very well lately, so I'm going to use the trusty old SLR here pointed at the screen, and we're going to mix this song together. So let's jump in and do that right now. Okay, so here we are in GarageBand on my iPad, and you can see that I have now filled out the rest of these tracks and re-recorded my guitars and other instruments. So we're going to jump straight in here now and start doing some mixing. So I'll do a very quick overview of the tracks that I have here. So from the top here, this is my original scratch guitar, and I've kept the intro part of that recorded using the iPad's mic because it just sounded really good, and mixed with the other 2 versions of that initial riff that I recorded, it actually sounds even better. So we're going to keep that one in there. This is my second acoustic guitar. It's original and it's double, and you can see that they are set at varying volumes at the moment. We'll need to play around with them. We now have the lead guitar, the high lead guitar. We've got this power chord amp that I'm using here now for my power chords. And then the Seattle sound tone that's coming into play this section here, and then our end section. So it's playing sort of another lead part, but a lower down lead part. So we've got 3 electric guitars here. We've got 2 acoustic guitars, but the acoustics have a bunch of layers and doubles, which we'll get to in a moment. We have our bass. Now, I haven't deleted my old bass. Let's just get rid of that now. We have our bass guitar here. Now, what I've done with my bass is I've recorded it at too low of a volume, so we cannot see a waveform there, but there is actually a bass there. You'll hear that in a moment. There is a trick you can do if you want to. You can merge the tracks of this if you wanted to send this over and give it, and it'll normalize the track and give you a waveform there. I'm not going to bother doing that now, but there's an idea for a tip that I'm going to do in the future, is to show you how to normalize a track where you've recorded it at too low a volume, because the sound there is fine. It's just that you can't see it if you want to edit it. We have my man Anders, and you can see I've done some pretty extensive work here with Anders producing his drums. We'll take a quick look at those in a moment. And then we have my vocals. So you can see this is cut and chopped and done all sorts of things here. What I basically did is I did 2 takes of vocals. You can see here 1 and 2. Or is that it? No, 1 and 2 down here. And then I have just chopped it, and put it all together in my best take. So that is a very quick and a little bit of a cheap way of doing that. Ordinarily, I would spend a lot more time on my vocals working through that, but I literally had like half an hour to record those vocals. So that's what we've got. There's my rap part on a separate track because I've got a different vocal sound for the rap part. And here is my end of my vocals here. Now down here at the bottom here is my double. So the doubled vocal comes in the chorus. Looks like I've actually got it in... I've got it in some verse there as well. I need to I need to play around with that and remove that, which is what I'm going to be doing as we go through here. This is going to be a mixing, editing, mastering, everything, because what I'm going to do is in the next about half an hour, I'm going to go through and get all of this done. It may not be half an hour of actual footage, but it's going to be about half an hour for me. Hopefully, it may take longer. Anyway, it's going to take a lot longer if I keep talking, so let's get in and start playing this track. So I'm going to go to the start of the track. Let's have a listen to the intro with the acoustic guitar, and then hearing the rest of the band kick in. Here we go.
They say you better toughen up or this here town will eat you alive. They say protect yourself at every turn and never let the others see you cry.
So there we go, there is our intro and the start of our verse, so you can hear how the song has come together from the original versions that I did. So in 7 days, it's pretty remarkable what you can get done if you put your mind to it. I'm not saying by any stretch it's sounding amazing or like a fully produced song, but it's really getting there. So what we have here, the vocals are sounding a little bit soft there. You can see here that when we kick into the chorus, it gets a lot louder. What I'm going to have to probably do is an automation ride on those vocals. What I've got at the moment is a good static mix, but what I'm thinking is that this section is going to be louder. We're going to probably have to level it off during the chorus. Louder, 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 leveled off during the chorus, somewhere in the middle there. And then as we hit, what have we got here? Oh, we've got a problem here because this one should be, oh no, that's our rap, sorry. That's our rap, should be down there. And then this one's very loud again. So what we probably need to do is find the right volume for the loudest part and then pump up the rest. So let's do that now because the vocals are pretty important. So let's come here to the end section where you can see we've got these loud vocals and see if these are sitting nicely in the mix. Let's play.
I didn't know it was a problem anymore. It's just the way I feel within. And now I'm pointing you to the door. I didn't know it was a sin.
So yeah, so those vocals are sounding pretty good. Now, you're probably seeing up the top here that I'm not really clipping my master bus. Garageband on iOS doesn't have a master bus, so let's just get that out there right now. It's showing me those oranges. There is no red. It doesn't really do red. It's not maxing out. It's not going to be like a sausage here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just live with it because I'm not clipping. I didn't clip on my input on any tracks. I'm not clipping on any individual tracks. So I'm going to let my master bus do what it wants to do because I don't have time to work it out. And I'm not convinced that it actually makes any difference, that it does actually distort, that it has any problems. Anyway, that's more information than you needed. But in case you were wondering why I'm letting that happen, I'm going to let that happen. Okay, so we're cool with the vocals there. We've got our rap vocal here, which we'll show you in a minute as well. Now, the double of the vocals, so when we jump into the chorus here, let's just play the chorus, and you'll very subtly hear this. I'll drag the fader up and down so you can hear what the double is actually doing in this chorus.
I didn't know it was a sin. I didn't know it was a problem anymore. It's just the way I feel within. And it's a feeling that I know I can't ignore. I try to fit it.
And this is that bit that I was saying that I don't know why I have this second version here. I'm just going to move it up here to this muted track for the time being because I can't remember why I had it there. But anyway, my double I just want in the chorus. So let's find my next chorus, which, hang on, where are we? I'm losing it. Where are we here?
I try to justify the bad behavior. Just take a joke is what they say. I try to...
Yeah, so we don't need any of this. So we're actually just going to delete that and we're going to delete that because we don't need our double in our verses. We only want the double to come in to give some power to our chorus like this.
I didn't know it was a sin. I didn't know it was a problem anymore. It's just the way I feel within.
So the point of a vocal double, and a vocal double is literally you sing the same line twice, which I did here. I just happened to use my better take for the main and my worst take for the double for this chorus. And the reason you do that is you get that full sound without having to add a whole bunch of effects like delay and whatnot, because you're singing it slightly differently both times. And you can hear that when I pump up the volume of both of them, it sounds unnatural and it sounds weird. But when I have it sitting just down below, it just adds some thickness to the mix. And we could do a panning effect to make it even thicker, but I'm leaving them both up the middle here at the moment, just because I'm short on time. Did I make that point? Yeah, I made that point enough. Okay, so vocals are sitting like that. I know you want to hear the rap, so let's cut to the chase. Let's hear my rap section. What I've done with the rap here is we've got lead vocals on that one. I'm using the radio ready mix because I don't want quite as much processing, reverb, echo, the like on this. So let's hit play on this one now.
I didn't know it was a sin to be my own man. Didn't know it was my job to make you understand all the time that I went along with what you say, even though I knew there must be another way. Now it's time that I make a new commitment. So sick of putting up with this resentment. Tried hard, but I never even made a dent in the prejudice, the bigotry, the sentiment. Man up, are you saying on the weak one? You're the one who needs to take a look at what you've done. I feel things and I'm pretty sure you feel them too. You're just stuck in the cycle that they handed you. Moving on and I wish you well, maybe. Moving on and they're never gonna shame me. No judgment from the ones that I hold close. No judgment from the ones that mean the most.
And then we go into that quiet interlude bit that I know some of you said sounded good and wanted me to keep, and I've kept it. So that is where we're at with that. Now, that is my vocals for now. Like I said, I'm going to come back and do some automation on those at the end, probably just to lift up this intro and verses that we have on the vocals. Let's now go back up and take a look at these acoustic guitars and see if there's anything that we need to do on these. Because, as I said, these first three tracks here, 1, 2, 3, are the sort of high riff, which is playing like the power chord variations. And then we come in with these ones here. Let's just solo so you can hear what these ones sound like. They sound like this. And in fact, I think this one was a bit quieter. My levels were all over the shop. As I said, I was in a rush. I think I actually wanted it this way around. Yeah, I think that quieter one is better recorded, so I'm going to go with that. Now, this is the one that when we kick back in down here, we're going to need a volume boost here. We're going to need to do some automation. Let's just take these solos off and see how these sound when we kick back in this interlude part. Yeah, what we're probably going to have to do is actually bump this one up in this bit so that we've got like a fuller sound. Yeah, a little bit like that. Now, what I'm going to have to do, let's jump into this guitar, and I don't think we've got enough compression on this. So let's go into our compressor. Sorry, I'm covering up the screen there, aren't I? Let's drop the threshold down on this, and I'll leave it in the mix because it's tempting here to start soloing instruments all over the place. But if you leave them in the mix, then you can get a better feel for what your changes are actually doing. Okay, that's sounding okay. Let's go back to where this comes in back here. Make sure it's not too loud. We may need to automate or drop the volume down here. Let's play.
Oh, I try to fit in with the other guys. Shoot the breeze to show them I'm on board. I tried.
Actually, not too bad. So I'm just going to take it down a smidge. Again, this isn't going to be the absolute perfect mix and master here, but we're going to get it as close as we can in the time we have. Now let's have a look at our guitars here. You can see here we've got our electrics, we've got the lead, so the two leads, the high lead, the low lead, and then our distorted power chords that come in a little bit further on. So let's just solo these suckers. And you can hear how these sound together in this main part. Oh, I like that delay on that. That Dublin delay is a very cool. I think it's like probably called Dublin delay because of U2. If that's a really obvious statement, then sorry. But they use a lot of sort of that quarter note, dong, 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 cool delay that they have. So I fell in love with that lead guitar sound, so we're going to go with it here. So let's go down here to where we bring in our Seattle sound in this section here. So our guitars are sitting nicely. I should probably show you how I'm panning these suckers. So we have my high lead over to the right, we have my low lead over to the left, and we have our power chords right up the middle. So it's a very simple sort of arrangement that we have here. And I don't tend to pan things all the way, but you can see these are panned close to all the way on both sides. Anyway, let's move on from that. And I'm pretty happy with how those guitars sound. Let's just go to the end here and make sure they're all sitting nicely together. So that's our very busy sort of end section. And you'll notice here, I had recorded in this section some of that high lead guitar, which I've removed. And I did the same here with this Seattle sound, just to create a bit of a gap there. So it's something that I do quite often is I'll play all the way through just jamming on some sounds, and then you can easily just cut out what you don't want at the end, which is what I've done with these. All right, let's move on. Let's unsolo those. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on my bass here because my bass is sounding okay. You can see here it's almost invisible because I didn't record it at a very high volume, but it sounds like this. That's a bad place to show you. That's it playing a single note.
No, I can't ignore. I try to fit in.
So if anything, we probably just need a little bit more of that bass because it is recorded so low, just so that we can really hear it coming through. Let's just play here.
I try to fit in with the other guys on board. No, I can't ignore. I sit and try to respond, but
Okay, that's about right. Yeah, I'm spending a comically small amount of time on each of these instruments because we're short on time. Anyway, like I said, if you haven't heard me rant about the 80-20 rule, I'll rant about it now for about 30 seconds. If you don't want to hear it, just skip forward in the video. But the 80-20 rule is that you're going to get like 80% there in like 20% of the time. So in short, I'm going to get like an 80% good song, and then I could probably spend like another 80% to get an extra 20%. That was really poorly explained. But what it means is that don't spend time because it's diminishing returns. The more you grind away to try and go for perfection over something that's just good or great, you're going to be spending a lot of time and wasting a lot of time. So anyway, that's my justification for what I'm doing here. Let's take a look at some drums. So I'm not going to go through in detail about drums. As I mentioned in the last video, if you want to learn about drummer, I've got some videos that I linked in that one. But you can see here that I've chopped up Anders here. We'll jump in over here. He's got different things that he's playing in all of these, and I've given him some instructions to go onto the toms there, be up on the cymbals there, be on the hi-hat there, and I've done quite a bit of tweaking over here on the left and in the amount of fills as well as the kick and snare pattern that we have. So Anders is just doing his thing, and I love drummer for this reason. There's no way that I could have programmed drums that sound anywhere near as good as the drums that are in this song if I had to hand program every little sound. So I'm not going to go into more detail on Anders at the moment. And you know what? That is kind of where we're at. So let's go back and look at the tweaks that we needed to make. So I've got a couple of options here with this first section. I could automate it, but I'm feeling lazy and I don't really want to have to add in some automation curves. If you do want to learn about automation, it's very cool. And I'll link a video to how you can learn about it. But for now, if you've got a whole section like this and you want to up the volume, you can actually just tap on it, go into our settings, and then up the gain. So let's just drive this gain up by, I reckon I need a bit. I reckon I need about 5 dB on the gain on my verse. And let's have a play of this and see if this is going to sit nicely in the mix with an extra 5 dB.
They say you better toughen up or this here town will eat you alive. They say protect yourself at every turn and never let the others see you cry.
I think that's sounding pretty good. That was a good guesstimate of 5 dB. And we didn't have to do any automation, so that's also good because it's saving me some time. Let's now play the transition and make sure that this works going between the two volumes, because that's the time where it's going to stick out if it's sounding wrong. Let's play.
Ever try to get a helping hand? I didn't know it was a sin. I didn't know it was a problem anymore. It's just the way I feel within, and it's a feeling that I know I can't ignore. I try to fit in with the other guy.
Yeah, not bad. If anything, this actually needs to come up slightly too. So I've probably hamstrung myself there by having the volume low, and now we're upping even the loud sections. But because we go so loud right at the end, let's add an extra, well, that's a bit too much. Let's add an extra dB. Sorry, I know I'm covering the screen there a little bit. Plus 1.1 is what I was trying to do. 1.5, let's go with that. Sounds fine. And then this one needs to come up, but probably not quite as much as the first one. Let's bring this up by, let's go 3.4. Close enough. So let's go 4 dB on this one for this next verse. So let's just do our transition from here to here.
No, I can't ignore. I try to fit in with the other guys. Shoot the breeze to show them I'm on board. I try to...
Yep, sounds good to me. We're going with it. And you'll notice here I've done some chopping. So there was literally like one line in here that sounded really bad. So I stole this I try and I put it here to this I try. I don't think I even have the... I guess I do have the bad I try. Want to hear the bad I try? Let's hear the bad I try soloed because I like embarrassing myself.
I try to...
So that was about 7 notes and it was supposed to be 2. So we'll take that one away. Put the volume down. But instead, I stole this I try and it sounds like this.
I try to justify the bad...
So still not perfect, but at least it's only 2, maybe 3 notes in there. Anyway, that's fine and sounding good and dandy. Now, I've just realised a problem that I have here is that I increased the volume of this section and I've made a rod for my back because this verse goes all the way through here. Now, I'm going to try something a little bit tricky. Now, can we do this? I don't think I've ever actually done this. Can we change settings on multiple items? We can. Look at this. I'm learning as I go. Let's go up to that same 4 dB. 4.5. It's so hard to leave where you need it. 4.9, no. 4-ish. Man, I'm going to have to just go with something close to it. 4.3, let's try that. Okay, so let's just make sure this all makes sense.
Forget about the chord. I try to justify the bad behavior. Just take a joke.
Yeah, so it's a little bit too loud. Let's do that again. Let's go... We're going to go a bit lower than that 4. Let's go to like... Not 0.4. Jeebus. 3.8. Perfect.
Is what they say.
I think that's going to be good. Can you tell I'm getting less not caring. I do care about this song. It's a good song. I like it. But yeah, I'm spending less time as we go along here as we're running out of time. The clock's ticking, dude. Anyway, so we're going to go with that, and I reckon the rest of it is going to be okay. Does this chorus need a bit of a boost?
I didn't know it was a problem anymore. It's just the way I feel within. And it's
We've given it a tiny boost there, and here.
time to move on. I sit and try to respond, but they are laughing at me.
Yeah, I didn't really mean to hold that me quite so long, but it's there now, and we're going with it. All right, let's come down here to my rap section and make sure that this is sitting okay in our mix.
I didn't know it was a sin to be my own man. Didn't know it was my job to make you understand all the times that I went along with what you say, even though I knew there must be another way. Now it's time that I make a new commitment. So sick of putting up with this resentment. Tried hard, but I never even made a dent in the prejudice, the bigotry, the sentiment. Man up, are you saying I'm the weak one? You're the one who needs to take a look at what you've done. I feel things and I'm pretty sure you feel them too. You're just stuck in the cycle that they handed you. Moving on and I wish it well, maybe.
Yep, I'm happy with that. We're going to go with it. All right, let's come into our last section here. This is called Rapid Fire Mixing here on Studio Live today. Let's see how we're going at this point in time.
I didn't know it was a sin. I didn't know it was a problem anymore. It's just the way I feel within. And now it's rocking me to my core. I didn't know it was a sin. I didn't know it was a problem anymore. It's just the way I feel within. And now I'm pointing you to the door. I didn't know it was a sin. I didn't know it was a sin. I didn't know it was a sin.
Okay, sounding pretty good. I've just dropped the bass down there, as you would have seen in that, because it was just overpowering me a little bit there in that last section. And luckily, I had a split in my takes there. All of those splits, by the way, well, not all of them, not Anders there, but the splits there that you see, most of those are takes, some of those are editing. You would have seen that in previous videos. And again, go back to the last video, check all the links if you want to see how I do all of this mixing caper and recording in some other songs as well. Not quite in such a rush that I'm doing here today. Anyway, you know what? We are nearly half an hour into this mix process, and I'm pretty comfortable with where we are at. I don't think there is anything else that I need to do here, but what I am going to do is I'm going to take a listen through to this song now and see how we're tracking, and then hopefully I'm going to come back and be pretty happy and then play you my final mix. So hang around one moment, I'll listen to this and we'll be back in a moment. Okay, so after that listen through that I just did, there was only really one thing that stuck out to me, and that was that my vocals were a little bit too loud. So I've bumped them down a little bit in the mix, and now I'm pretty happy with how things are sounding. And I'm almost ready to play you this track, and it will be sort of the final mix. I've buried the lead a bit here. This song has been completed within 7 days, as I set out to do, but it doesn't quite end here, because what I want, if you've made it through the series and if you've made it to this point and you're ready to listen to this track, I want to hear your feedback. So before I do my final master and actually release this song to the world, you guys are going to hear it first, and I want you to tell me what you think I should do with this. So if my final mix that I've done doesn't have enough bass, has too much bass, the vocal's too loud, too soft, you think the lead guitar needs some EQ or some different effects, let me know, and I will do an additional mix based on your feedback. So I want you to be involved. This is my mix. I want to do our mix if I get enough feedback on this track to do that. So Thank you for bearing with me through this week. It's been a whirlwind of a week, and I'm pretty happy to premiere now this brand new song called Sin here on Studio Live today. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.
They say you better toughen up or this here town will eat you alive. They say protect yourself at every turn and never let the others see you cry. They say if you wanna fit in here, you better learn to follow, not to stand. And they say it's time to be a man, and don't you ever try to get a helping hand. I didn't know it was a sin. I didn't know it was a problem anymore. It's just the way I feel within, and it's a feeling that I know I can't ignore. I try to fit in with the other guys, shoot the breeze to show them I'm on board. I try to realize the truth is that it's time to jump, forget about the chord. I try to justify the bad behavior, just take a joke is what they say. I try to tell myself it's just the way it's been since back in the day. I didn't know it was a sin. I didn't know it was a problem anymore. It's just the way I feel within, and it's a feeling that I know I can't ignore. And now it's time to move on. I sit and try to respond, but they are laughing at me. I didn't know it was a sin to be my own man. Didn't know it was my job to make you understand all the times that I went along with what you say, even though I knew there must be another way. Now it's time that I make a new commitment. So sick of putting up with this resentment. Tried hard but I never even made a dent in the prejudice, the bigotry, the sentiment. Man up, are you saying I'm the weak one? You're the one who needs to take a look at what you've done. I feel things and I'm pretty sure you feel them too. You're just stuck in the cycle that they handed you. Moving on and I wish it well, maybe. Moving on and they're never gonna shame me. No judgment from the ones that I hold close. No judgment from the ones that mean the most. I didn't know it was a sin. I didn't know it was a problem anymore. It's just the way I feel within, and now it's rocking me to my core. I didn't know it was a sin. I didn't know it was a problem anymore. It's just the way I feel within, and now I'm pointing you to the door. I didn't know it was a sin. 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 I didn't know it was a sin.
Okay, so I don't know whose idea it was to record a song in a week. Oh, wait, it was mine. But we have done it. And yes, I did forget to fade out the end properly there, which I will have to do before I actually put this on SoundCloud or anywhere else. But you got to hear the first final ish mix done. It is a full song, it is complete, and it was done within a week. So if you have stuck with me through this whole process, as I said before, thank you very much. And if you do have comments on the mix and you do want to provide more feedback, I'm going to come back and revisit this in a future bonus episode. So please drop your comments down below. But for now, I need to have a drink or a sleep or probably both. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.